Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. My name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. It is my pleasure to introduce my two very special guests. Well, my first guest is Dr. Leslie Sadak. Now, Dr. Sadak is a DDS, a Doctor of Dentistry. She is also an honors grad of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. She has with her her very special guest and client, Lucinda. Now, Lucinda came to see Leslie for hypnotherapy for tinnitus, and that is ringing, persistent ringing in the ears. Please help me welcome my guests. Well, Lucinda, I wanted to start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about what was going on?
I have my ringing in my ears, or tinnitus, for 25 years after being extremely stressed and pass out. And when I wake up, my ear was ringing, and they never stopped since then.
Wow. What kind of interventions did you try? Who did you go to see?
I tried acupuncture, didn't work. I tried yoga meditation, and that's no good because it's too silent, no noise, and that's what I hear, only my ringing. So then I heard about Hypnosis, and Leslie, and I start with her, and I'm very pleased because it's when I'm in session and when I do my own one, my volume goes a little bit down, and that's wonderful for me.
Well, I'm going to start with, how did you hear about hypnotherapy?
Well, I belong to the Association of Tinnitus, and they have an MD, a doctor, who practice hypnosis, and I questioned him, but I knew I was not going to go to him, but I was going to try with Leslie, and I'm very pleased, very pleased.
How did you find Leslie?
Well, it's a long story. I know Leslie family for many, many years, and we had a lunch for a family, and I was close to her at the lunch, and we talked, and she told me about hypnosis, and she said you should try for your tinnitus, and I had this in mind to do it, so it was perfect.
Well, I love this, because here's a perfect example of the universe kind of answering questions that you ask. The Society for Tinnitus had an MD that recommended hypnosis. And I love all the ways that people find their hypnotherapist. Through a family association, then listening at something casual, something social, and then coming in to see you. You already had the trust, and you already had a beginning of the rapport. Well, Leslie, this is kind of an interesting thing to treat with hypnotherapy, because hypnotherapy is all about listening. And here we have somebody who has a issue that's around listening and hearing and sound. What kind of an induction would you use with a client like this?
Well, the first thing I would do with a client that has tinnitus or any chronic medical condition in a first session is I would do an arm-raising induction. When you have a chronic condition and you've tried several avenues to relieve your pain, it's important that the client feels confident that you can help them.
You know why I like the arm raising for that is because how often do we sit any place and do this? And when we can use hypnosis to get the arm to lift and rise just by listening and feeling the changes in our body, it does buy the credibility, so that gives the confidence.
That's right.
When you had that arm raising in that office, that first session, were you surprised?
Yes, a lot of emotion also.
I bet.
But I feel so comfortable because I knew Leslie, so I could talk and let myself go.
Beautiful, and you knew her family.
Yeah,
so we buy the credibility with the arm raising. Right. What do you do next?
Then what I do is I do an eye fascination to allow the client to focus on their breathing. Have them breathe in slowly, hold it for a few seconds, and breathe out slowly. You want to connect the breathing to break the cycle of anxiety, fear, and the chronic medical condition. And the breathing seems to be able to do that.
Did you find that the tinnitus got worse with anxiety or stress?
Oh yes, definitely.
So what was it like to be able to actually be able to control your own relaxation?
Well, it's marvelous for me to be able to breathe deep and let my mind goes away and be ocean, because I love the ocean and the sound of the ocean and the smell and everything. And I can see the volume going down and my stress get better, relief.
That was so interesting what Lucinda just mentioned. She mentioned the ocean. Talk to me about the method that you used, whether it was traditional hypnotherapy or hypnotherapy combined with imagery.
It's very important that you combine imagery with your words and phrases and your metaphors. With a client with tinnitus, ringing in the ears, you want to look for sounds in nature that client finds comforting and relaxing. And after you do your progressive relaxation to create a calm and a comfort, and I always do a progressive relaxation before the imagery. I do it with individuals and I do it with corporate groups. And then I proceed to the imagery. And we developed the imagery of the ocean, and I guided Lucinda through that. And we took the sounds of the ocean and we substitute them for the ringing in her ears.
Yeah.
Now, this is really interesting because my understanding of tinnitus is it's something that's chronic and persistent.
Yes, there is no cure.
So when you told Leslie about the ocean, what do you do in your mind to be able to substitute or replace the sound of the ocean with the ringing in the ears? Can you tell us about that experience?
Well, when I was very stressed, I used to go to the ocean, Santa Monica, and early in the morning and look at the waves, the movement of the waves, the sound, how they break. And I cannot hear my hearing anymore. I just hear the sound of the ocean. I'm in love with the ocean, and the horizon I can see, I can dream, and that helped me tremendous. So with Leslie, we find the way to help me with the ocean.
And you were able to hear the sounds of the ocean, which were soothing.
Yes, it's still ringing, but the ocean covered it.
So were you able to turn the volume down on the tinnitus,
yes.
or turn the ocean up, or was
Yes.
it both?
Down and up.
Great.
Yes.
Tell me about the quality of your life now that you are able to reduce the stress, which reduces the ringing, and when you do have the ringing, you're able to replace it with a sound that's comfortable and healthy for
Yes.
you. Tell me about the quality of your life.
Well, now I know when I'm so stressed, I can isolate myself and in a calm and just close my eyes, breathe, hold, breathe, and just imagine myself in the ocean, in front of the waves and the sound and the smell, the wind, and that helped me to reduce the stress and the ringing.
Is there anything that you're doing now that you have these tools that you had been avoiding before?
I didn't have it before, no. So I was thinking I was getting crazy and very scared.
Are you scared
Because
now?
it doesn't stop. No, I try to calm down and accept better and do my own thing with the help.
What would you say to someone who had a chronic medical condition about just checking out hypnotherapy?
Oh, I will push them to go and try, because it works.
Yes.
So.
And what would you say to someone who might be a little scared of hypnotherapy?
Well, I was scared because for me, I thought hypnosis, I thought I was totally asleep and no control. And I didn't like this. But then Leslie explained to me, no, you're not. So And that's why I feel so comfortable
So
now.
you would explain to someone it's not what you think it is and give it a try.
Yes.
And I know nobody goes to see a hypnotherapist for less control over his or her life.
Yes.
You only go to see a hypnotherapist for more control over your life. Leslie, give us 3 of your best post-hypnotic suggestions for someone with a chronic medical condition or tinnitus.
Okay. I would suggest that you breathe in slowly when you're breathing, and you visualize the word calm. And once you're focused on the word, you begin to break your cycle of fear, anxiety, and discomfort. The second thing would be to breathe out very slowly. As you breathe out slowly, it's been shown through medical studies that your muscles relax, your physiology slows, and your discomfort will decrease. And the third thing is, once you've done the 2 sides of the breathing, you're able to invite in, as in Lucinda's case, some of the imagery you've learned in hypnosis. Hers, of course, focuses more on the auditory than the visual, to invite in the sounds and use those sounds to replace them with the ringing you have in your ears.
Wow. Well, I learned a lot today, too. And I know that everyone's going to want to contact you about chronic medical conditions exacerbated by stress, or even tinnitus specifically. And you can reach Dr. Leslie Sadak at hmigrads.com. We're going to take a short break, but please stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to meet another HMI grad and talk about more Hypnosis Today. Thank you so much, Leslie. Thank you so much, Lucinda.
Thank you.
And I'll see everybody after the break.
Thank you.
Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. My name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. It is my pleasure to introduce my 2 very special guests. Well, my first guest is Dr. Leslie Sadak. Now, Dr. Sadak is a DDS, a Doctor of Dentistry. She is also an honors grad of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. She has with her her very special guest and client, Lucinda. Now, Lucinda came to see Leslie for hypnotherapy for tinnitus, and that is...
And pass out, and when I wake up, my ear was ringing, and they never stopped since then.
Wow. What kind of interventions did you try? Who did you go to see?
I tried acupuncture, didn't work. I tried yoga meditation, and that... No.
Ringing, persistent ringing in the ears. Please help me welcome my guests. Well, Lucinda, I wanted to start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about what was going on?
I have my ringing in my ears, or tinnitus, for 25 years after being extremely stressed.